So just backtracking now, we've just reached our mash out temperature, which was 75 degrees, and the timer has started for 10 minutes. So 10 minutes to go, and then we do our sparge seeds. We have an alarm. Mash out finished, okay. Now this is where you do your sparge, but I push this button straight away because basically we've got to get to 100 degrees and it takes a while to do it. So we're on the heat again, and we're going to heat the water, or the wort, our mix to 100 degrees, but I'll show you the sparge process. So basically I've just lifted the grain basket up, a bit hard to do with the camera rolling, and we'll let all that drain out. I'll pop that one out of the middle. This one back in. And we'll pull this one out. There we go. There we go. This is where we add our mash water. I've got my sterilised bucket. So I can just quickly click across to this. If I expand that, so it'll tell me the sparge water, volume, 16.5 litres. So that holds 17 litres, so I'm going to be left with a litre. So I've just tipped the bucket of water on top, and now we get our paddle again. And I'm going to give this a really vigorous stir. So basically what we're doing is trying to pick up any sugars or enzyme that could have been left in the mashing process. So we'll give this a really good stir and agitate this as much as we can. Now remember, we've got a sieve on the bottom, so that's going to let it drain back into our boiler, and we'll be good to go. So I'm just going to put this down while I give this a really vigorous stir. So now you can hear that water running in there. I've just basically scraped the bottom of the screen with the spatula, which just lets the fluid run through, giving it a good mix up. Now there's 16.5 litres of sparge water, so I get to do this about 3 times. It's on the, there. So we're nearly the last of the water now. So I've just tipped the last of the sparge water in, just got to give this another mix up. Now this is a pretty important process to get most of that sugar out. A bit of a rule of thumb that I've sort of worked out, that roughly 1 kilo of grain will give you 1% in alcohol. So most batches are around the 4.5 to 5 kilos, so you're looking for a beer around the 4.5 to 5%. But this process here of getting this extra sugar and enzymes out of your brew is fairly important. So we've finished the sparge. I've just got that on a bit of an angle just so it drains a little bit quicker. Runs off to the side. You can see our wort coming in there. So what roughly we're going to be left with is a bit under 30 litres of fluid there. Now some brews you've got to boil for an hour and a half. Most of them are around an hour, but an hour and a half you'll lose up to 2 to 3 litres of liquid in that process. So there, so all the fluid's drained through the grain into the boiler now, and we're just waiting to get to that 100 degrees. The old saying, a watch kettle never boils, is very much true with the grain father. The last few degrees is painfully slow to get to. So that'll beat when it gets there, let me know. I will just have to work that crust back into the water a bit, as it's, you do have a chance of a boil over, so it's a simple thing of just swirling that back in and just getting rid of those lumpy bits on top and that bit of foam. You might have to do that a couple of times as it nears 100 degrees. and then yeah, then we're on the boil. 60-minute boil, I think, for this recipe. Yep, 100 degrees at 60 minutes, and it will give us our additions as we go along. So we've got 25 grams of Centennial, and now 2 lots of 15 grams of Amarillo and Cascade at 10 minutes. So like I said before, that 25 grams of Centennial, that's a bittering hop. So that goes in at the 60-minute mark. That's as soon as it starts to time. And then the other two, the 10 minutes, are our flavoursome hops. Okay, so we've hit the boil, 100 degrees. Yes. With the grandfather system, you can either work off your iPad or your phone or manually. So I'll just tap that one. So we've started our boil timer, and then we go start timer, and then this one will be add our 60-minute hop addition, which is our first bittering hops. So that's our first bittering hops. In they go, just like that. I'll give that a bit of a mix up. Set that. Our timer's away. 60 minutes, and we'll just get rid of this foam and mix those hops down into the brew a bit. Now the aroma that comes off that is absolutely beautiful when you first put those hops in. Your whole brew day is full of aroma. Once you get past the cleansing agents at the beginning, that's from there on it's all beautiful. When your grains have been crushed through that little crusher that we did earlier on in the previous video, there's a lot of natural smells and aroma that comes off that. And then obviously when this is on the boil, that hop is infused and it goes right through the house, which my wife actually likes, so it's not too bad there, but there we go. So that's got that cleared up. So we're on the boil for 60 minutes, timer's ticking down nicely, and our next hop addition is that 10 minutes.